scheduled for one fall. Approaching the ring, representing the corporation at a combined weight of 482 pounds, Mr. McMahon and Shane McMahon.
Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
And their opponent, introducing first, representing the Nation of Domination from Miami, Florida, weighing 260 pounds, The Rock. Representing the Nation of Domination from Silsbee, Texas, weighing 418 pounds, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
Here's the first Raw's War match we have tonight on Smackdown. This is for the Raw's War Tag Team Tournament between the McMahons and the Nation of Domination. This is the fourth tag team match in the tag team tournament, one of which will have to be restarted later tonight. The match between Kane and Bradshaw and Undertaker and Farooq, based on the actions that happened last Monday on Raw. This match between Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon and The Rock and Mark Henry have been boiling over for the past couple days, waiting for the match to happen. They in fact have to wait a little bit less time, because normally they would be near the end of the night, right before the Rumble. But they've been put in place of the normal Rumble disqualification match, which would remove people from the roster Rumble that has been happening at the end of the night. Tonight, that has been rolled into the tag team tournament for SmackDown between the Corre and Team Hell No. The loser of that match will not be in the Royal Rumble at the end of the night and will not have a chance in the SmackDown World Heavyweight Championship. Here we have Shane McMahon going against The Rock into a series of holds headlocks, grabbing the back, into a big slam by The Rock here onto Shane McMahon. Shane and Vince trying to make their chance at the Raw's War Tag Team Championship, representing the Corporation. The Corporation is in the semifinals of the Raw's War Championship after they beat over the Road Warriors earlier this week. And you ever wonder if they have some sort of play involved in the devastation that happened in the Acolytes versus Brothers of Destruction match, as especially since the Corporation intervened at the beginning of that match. So now they've made it so the Corporation has to face a less oiled, less experienced team in either Kane and Bradshaw or Undertaker and Faarooq, whoever wins that match later tonight. That will be tonight's fourth match. Rock is putting some aggression here against Shane as they tie up back and forth. And then to another big slam by The Rock here against Shane. Shane has been in the tag team division a few times before, usually carried by other members of the Corporation. The Rock helping out. Mark Henry, oh my god, the big splash by Mark Henry onto Shane McMahon, and I'm surprised he is able to get up after that. Mark Henry getting some help by The Rock. Somewhat surprised The Rock is able to help him out with that. Mark Henry, a big man. Not normally someone you expect to go up to the top rope, especially for a move such as big as that. Here comes a tag team maneuver from the McMahons as they slam Mark Henry against the turnbuckle, and Mark Henry falls to the floor. Vince McMahon, the boss, in the ring now, fighting against Mark Henry. He could fire Mark Henry right now and give himself the match if he wanted to, but doesn't quite want to do that. He wants to win it legit. He wants to try to win this match in a normal fashion. Mark Henry able to put out some strength against Vince McMahon, but Vince McMahon trying to take out the legs of Mark Henry. One of the big men, you want to take out the legs of your opponent if they're a large man. Get them off their base. Try and chop them down to your size. It'll help you try and put more aggression onto them. Big slam here by Mark Henry, slamming Mr. McMahon's back into the mat. Going for a submission maneuver here. Big stretching the arms and the chest of Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon able to counter out of that, kick himself out of there. As Mark Henry just checks him into the ropes and knocks him, and a big knee to the back of the head of Mr. McMahon. Mr. McMahon looking to try and put some aggression here on Mark Henry as he gets a headlock for his efforts and a big headbutt coming back. Mark Henry with some big stomps, strikes, big headlock, getting countered by Vince McMahon to a rake to the back, using his nails, backing himself into his opponent's corner. Not quite what you normally want to do in a tag match here. Big suplex here. The winner of this match will go on to face Edge and Christian in the semifinals. They beat their match over D-Generation X, Triple H, and HBK last night on TNA Wrestling. Big lift by Vince McMahon, showing the strength of those very muscular. He's showing off his muscles off for us here, doing a big lift to big Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. You'll see Mark Henry, the more current edition of Mark Henry, in the Royal Rumble later tonight. We got a headlock from Shane McMahon onto Mark Henry. Another headlock. Mark Henry has been in the ring for quite a while, getting tripped, trying to injure the knee and leg of Mark Henry. Trying to take him off that base, trying to bring him down. Shane McMahon, kind of weak, kind of short. Want to chop down the strong, heavy man if you can. Missing that elbow, not quite getting all of it as Mark Henry gets up. I don't even think he countered that. I just think he was dazed trying to get up, and Shane McMahon missed his hit there. Shane McMahon getting tossed out to the outside. Not to the outside, into the ropes. I'm not even sure what was supposed to be hurt there. Mark Henry comes over, tears the top off of our table. We just had our table knocked out and replaced from our last match. Scotty 2 Hottie and Grandmaster Sexay lost to 3MB Heath Slater, oh my god, and a big bulldog by Shane McMahon to the referee. The referee is down and out right now. Neither team would be disqualified if they wanted to play something a little shady, but the referee is back up, and Shane McMahon showing some aggression, lifting Mark Henry up to the top rope. Great strength here by Shane McMahon, and tipping him off that top rope, injuring the back and the lower back of Mark Henry. Looking for some camel clutch, also trying to injure that back and lower back of Mark Henry. Trying to take out some of that lifting power from the world's strongest man. As I was saying in our match earlier tonight between 3MB and Too Cool, Grandmaster Sexay was put through the table by Jinder Mahal. We've had our table replaced since then, but has already had its top and monitors taken out of it. So you have to be wondering who will go through that table if it gets used again, if it gets taken out for the second time tonight. Big elbows to the shoulders of Mark Henry. Mark Henry's been in the ring for a very long time now. He's got to be looking to tag The Rock in soon. Another big headlock combination between these two competitors as Mark Henry whips him into the enemy corner. He actually doesn't want to be here, but a big clothesline from Mark Henry taking down Shane McMahon. Almost said Shawn Michaels there. He competed earlier in this tournament with Triple H as part of D-Generation X. I'm sure the Corporation is happy that they got eliminated. Corporation is 2 out of the 6 teams remaining. 2 of the teams that have been eliminated, the Road Warriors and D-Generation X, have not been part of the Corporation. They're quite happy. The Nation of Domination has had some ties with the Corporation in the past. The Rock has been part of the Corporation. So you gotta wonder if they'll be happy with the Corporation winning here. We're not quite sure. We're not sure of the motives of the Corporation, of the McMahons, of Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon. But I'm sure they would be much better in their own hands if they won this match. They are able to take out Mark Henry. They've had him in the ring for so long. They've been punishing his back, trying to take out the legs. I wonder if they're going to try and take the pin, try and keep it just a 2v1 match here. But Mark Henry getting some aggression out of his enemy corner. Whipping Shane McMahon into his corner. They're going to look for a tag team maneuver here. Yes, Rocks get tagged in. They're able to do a tag team maneuver here. What are they going to go for here? Big slam, tossing Shane McMahon out like a trash. Mark Henry having some trouble getting out of the ring. Referee should have counted that almost to a 3 count, but didn't quite. Shane McMahon getting tossed over the top ropes and getting punished by both Mark Henry and Rock. Now it's a 2v1 match. Now it's a big DDT by The Rock as Shane McMahon is out there. He gets tossed against the table. Mark Henry putting him on the table for The Rock to come up and put Shane McMahon through the table. Second table of the night. Going to go through. Yes, and Shane McMahon was busted open with that table. Shane McMahon is bleeding out onto the table that he's just gone through. His head smashed into the table. Shane McMahon running into the ring, trying not to get counted out, even though he just got smashed right through a table. Could be knocked out. Some lesser men would be knocked out here. Shane McMahon trying to show some fortitude, trying to show his excellence in this tag team matchup in the Rise War Tag Team Tournament. Vince McMahon back into the ring now, letting his son rest, letting him be in the corner. Maybe try and wipe the blood, trying to keep it out of the eyes. With a big DDT from The Rock, Rock turns the aggression back onto his side into a big clutch submission maneuver here onto Vince McMahon, trying to hurt the lower back. Shane McMahon not even trying to come in to hurt, to be coming back into the ring right now as of yet. Vince McMahon in a 1v1 against The Rock here. A big flipping off The Rock into a stunner here as Shane McMahon takes out Mark Henry. Vince McMahon goes to the pin here. 1, 2, not even a 2 count, folks. Stunner, not as powerful as Stone Cold Stunner. It is the Vince McMahon Stunner. It is not as powerful. It's not going to take The Rock out like that. Vince McMahon pulling The Rock into the middle of the ring for a pin here. 1 count. Only a 1 count. Not even a 2 count. Rock still has a lot of energy left inside of him. He's not going to let the match go that easily. Drop toe hold by Vince. Stomping onto the back, weakening the back of the Rock. Trying to perhaps take out some of the lifting power of the Rock as well. They've targeted the back and the legs of Mark Henry, and now they're going to try and perhaps target the back of the Rock. Big leg drop by Vince McMahon. Shades of the Hulkster there. Here we go for a pin here. 1, 2. Hulk. Not able to get a pin there. Hulkster. This is actually the WCW champion, able to win the Rock. No, that was Kevin Nash. He was able to get a #1 contendership against Kevin Nash, and will face him next week on Thunder. Vince McMahon tackling the Rock outside of the ring, tying up himself with Mark Henry. Getting a big slam from Mark Henry for his efforts. Mark Henry looking to hurt, as it seems to be the like here, putting all of his weight down on that knee, slamming it against the back, and now wrenching the arms and the chest of Vince McMahon once again. The Rock trying to stop Shane McMahon from saving his father, but unable to, as Shane does a double elbow drop onto Mark Henry's back. And Mark Henry lets Vince McMahon get his back and whip him into his team's corner. Is he going to look for a tag team maneuver here? No. Countered by big man Mark Henry as he slams his body against Vince McMahon. Goes for a pin here. 1, 2. Not a 2 count. Not a 2 count. Only a 1 count by Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon able to get kick out at only 1 count. Getting whipped into the enemy corner. Mark Henry taking his time, getting into the enemy corner as he gets The Rock and Mark Henry to do a double team maneuver. Another big slam coming from these two members of the Nation of Domination. The Rock taunting Vince McMahon. Looking for a clutch maneuver, trying to get the submission maneuver on him. Mark Henry now trying to stop Shane McMahon, but Shane able to save Vince. All 4 members of this tag team matchup are in the ring right now. 1 count, 2, 3. The referee is trying to get Shane McMahon out of the ring as Rock pulls Vince McMahon into the middle of the ring here. Goes for a pin here. 1. Not even a 1 count. Spent too much time dragging Vince around the ring. May have wanted to just try and pin him on the outside of the ring. Tag to Mark Henry. As Vince tried to go for a tag, but Shane McMahon got a bit startled there. Dropped down. Vince McMahon trying to get a breather on the outside of the ring. Getting a big elbow on Mark Henry. Tricking him to get out of the ring and get the advantage to Vince McMahon, who is now holding his gut. Perhaps the lower back hurting him. And Shane McMahon is holding his open wound from the back of his head. We got up to a 5 count now as Vince McMahon slides himself into the middle of the ring. Mark Henry is not able to get himself into the ring by a 10 count. The McMahons will win this match via countout. Shane McMahon trying to tie up Mark Henry as much as he can. Mark Henry going to be able to get in on almost a 9 count. Vince McMahon using Mark Henry's momentum against him, banging into a big slam, knocking the back of Mark Henry into the mat as he tries to do a submission maneuver, but Mark Henry, showing his strength, just merely lifts up Vince McMahon. Going for a pin here. The big man, Vince McMahon, 1. Big man pinning Vince McMahon. Not able to get the pin as Shane McMahon comes in here for a hot tag. He's been on out of the ropes for a while now. He's been able to rest up. Might be able to show some great action here from well-rested competitor. Mark Henry able to counter that momentum, do a big scoop slam, to a big stomp, going for a big splash here, putting all of his weight into Shane McMahon and going for a pin here. 1, 2, 3, and yes, the Nation of Domination wins by pinfall, able to pin the injured Shane McMahon and move on in the Raw's War Tag Team Tournament.